So this was my 10th flight. So after the 10th flight off the ramp, no more training hill. This is the concrete ramp that's at Lookout Mountain Flight Park. It's 1,340 feet above the landing zone. I probably should have been hooked in before I got up on the ramp, but I was having a little bit of trouble getting into my harness, so it took a little longer than expected, and I ended up not being hooked in before I was up there. The first step off the ramp is a couple of 100 feet down. So in order to be sure that you're attached to your glider, you do what's called a hang check before you get any further, before you take that first step. And that's what I'm doing right here. So I'm hanging in my harness, checking to make sure that it's attached to me, that all the straps are fastened, that my helmet's on, and now I want to check that my carabiner is actually attached to the hang glider and that it's locked. Now that the hang check's done, nothing left to do except get ready for flight. So I get a wind check, winds look good, and I'm ready to go. So the idea is you tell them you're clear, and then you take off, and that's what I'm doing. So you can see the trees are, they look fairly close, but it's not as close as it looks. There's Burkhalter Gap Road. And I'm now kicked into my harness, got a hold of the down tube, and feeling pretty good. And I decide I'm going to make a left-hand turn. And those trees looked a little closer than I expected, so I thought, well, I'll give myself a little more distance and turn to the right. And the trees still look a little too close for me to do a full 360, so I decide I'm going to go back to the left. You can see the landing zone just to my left there. They're straight ahead. And I've got plenty of time, so I have time to do a little bit of S-turns. There is absolutely zero lift at this point. There's just very little wind. So I decide I'm just going to do a 360, kind of look around. You can see I was looking back up at the launch ramp there. And now I'm cruising down a little bit to the south of the landing zone. And I got my hands off, completely free of the control bar. These things will fly themselves if you let them, as long as there's not too much turbulence. So now I'm headed toward the landing zone. No more goofing around. And as I get closer to the landing zone, right below me there will be a windsock, and I'll look down at that, check the direction of the wind, and determine which direction I want to land from. So now I'm over the edge of the landing zone, and I was looking down right now at that windsock to determine which direction I'm going to come in for a landing. So there's not much wind. Pretty much I have my choice, so I'm going to come in from the south, which is the direction that I'm headed right now. So I've got plenty of time. Gonna do a box over the top of the landing zone. Turn that left turn, and then come back to the breakdown area. Right now I'm over the windsock. One more left turn and I'll be back over the brake area. I'm looking to the left because there's a house over there, and once I see that house and I'm level with that house, I know it's time for me to start my downwind leg. And I'm pretty much even with that right now, so I'm starting my downwind leg. I'm actually a little bit low. So I'm lower than the trees than I wanted to be, so I'm gonna make a hard turn here. Actually a little bit anxious at this point. And let me turn a little bit harder. Oh yeah, I forgot to get out of the pod and in an upright position, so I did that real quick. Now I've got my feet out. I should have my hands a little bit higher in a few minutes. And now I'm trying to land it, and just barely missed. Didn't have enough time to flare.